Jo. I'm a physio, a Pilates instructor, and today we're going to go through a 15-minute routine for your lower back. So whether you've been working from home and feeling a bit stiff and want some movement in the middle of your day, or whether you're dealing with an acute lower back flare-up, these are the exercises for you. So let's get going. We're going to start on our hands and knees. If you need to, feel free to pop something in underneath your knees, so whether it's a cushion, a roll-up towel, or whether you double your mat over. But we're going to start in child's pose. So knees nice and wide on the mat, so as wide as they feel comfortable, and then bring your feet in as close as they feel comfortable. We're going to start by reaching our hands up over our heads, walking them away from us, and trying to relax our tailbone back down towards our heels. With child's pose, what we're aiming to do is try and let our back relax and curve slightly, so we can really enjoy that stretch in our lower back and then also underneath our arms as well. So we're going to do a deep breath in through our nose. And as you breathe out, I want you to try and relax a little bit deeper into that stretch. Let your bum hang down towards your heels, but keep stretching those arms up above your head. Feel free to let your head rest down on that mat in front of you. And the idea of doing an exercise like this to begin with is allowing those tight muscles in our lower back to turn off a little bit. Often when we're in this pattern of back pain, we go into quite a bit of guarding in our lower back, and that is coupled with a lot of stiffness as well. In a position like this where hands and knees are on the floor, we're doing those long, slow breaths in and out. It allows us to put our body into almost a sense of safety that, we've got a nice stable ground underneath us. We're not worried about hurting ourselves. And so it actually allows those muscles in our lower back to turn off a little bit and relax into that position. Then stay here for another couple of breaths. Nice slow breath in and breathing out. Again, as you're breathing out, thinking about that tailbone sinking down towards your heels. We might try and tiptoe your fingers a little bit further away from you, so getting a bit more of a stretch underneath your arms. If you feel like that makes you shrug a little bit, then just back off slightly, because we don't want to be shrugging our shoulders up towards our ears when we're doing this. We want to stay nice and soft in our neck, but get that stretch in our arm. Stretch under our arm gets going. Nice big breath in and breathing out. If you want to spend a little bit longer in this stretch or add a little bit of lateral work into it from side to side, maybe shifting your hips around a little bit, feel free to pause the video and do so. But we're going to move on. We're going to go into cat and cow position. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees. So in this position, what we're looking at is wrists underneath our shoulders and then knees in underneath our hips. And I'm just going to tuck my shirt in a little bit for this one. Do a bit of a hair flick. From here, again, if you need to pop something in into your knees, feel free to do so. We're going to go into cat and cow. So we're going to go up into cat first, so arching up through your back, pushing your palms into that floor, trying to get your shoulder blades as far away from that floor as possible, and sending that tailbone down towards the ground, really rounding out through your spine. And then from there, we're going to lead with your tailbone, and that's going to start pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to then arch in through our lower back, and then point our breastbone down towards the floor, and hands up towards the ceiling. And then we reversed again. So let's start with our head. So tuck your chin in, head down to the ground, follow with your chest, lower back, and then our tailbone's headed down towards that ground. And then we reverse again, so tailbone up, following our lower back, upper back, and into our neck and head. And we're just going to continue this pattern a couple of times. And remembering just to work within whatever feels comfortable for you. So you might not be able to move quite as much as what I can, or you might be able to move a lot more than what I can. Movement, or the amount of movement, isn't necessarily the goal. It's to try and reduce a little bit of that stiffness that we're feeling. So limbering up the spine, getting better quality movement rather than really focusing on that end goal and that total movement that we might see. The other thing that might feel good is swing your hips from side to side. So when you're up in that cat position, swing them from side to side. Get a little bit of that lateral work going. And then when we sink into cow, we can do the same thing as well. Get a little bit of side bends going on here. Can really help loosen up that back. Now what we're going to do is go into a bit of a thread the needle. So from here, I've got my left hand on the floor. I'm going to pick my right hand up, thread it underneath that window, under my left arm, and try and reach as far forward as I can, almost to the point where I'm getting that shoulder down onto the floor. So it's a really nice stretch, thread the needle, because we get that stretch in our back, that's twisting stretch, but you also get a really good shoulder stretch as well. We're going to stay here for a couple of seconds, then we're going to push up with that supporting hand, that left hand, plant our right hand on the ground, and then reach under with our left hand as far as it can go, and doing that stretch on the other side. So really enjoying that twist through the spine, that stretch into your shoulder, reaching what you can reach, using your fingertips to almost curl yourself forward a little bit if you can, and then pushing back up with that supporting arm, and threading back in through that window to the other side again. If it feels better for you to stay in that position once you're in that position, feel free to do so, and rather than swapping from side to side, just hold that position. But for everyone else, we're going to hold for 3 to 5 seconds, really get that stretch in, and then we pop up and go to the other side. So do one more each way. Trying to keep your hips relatively still when we're doing this one, so that twist is coming from hips up when we are doing it. Pushing back up. Last one, reaching underneath your right arm, through that window, stretching in through that left side. Getting that stretch behind your shoulder as well. Pushing up, and then we're going to come up into a kneeling position. From here, we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch, so right at the front of our hips here. Again, you might need to pop in something underneath your knees for a bit of support. But we're going to bring the right leg in front of you, so it's out to the side a little bit to make sure we're nice and stable in this position. From here, we're thinking about squeezing that left bum cheek. As we squeeze it, it's going to help tuck our hips under a little bit, send that tailbone down towards the ground. And for me, that already gives me a stretch through the front of the hip. But for those that are a little bit more flexible than me, what we can do is once you've got that bum squeezed and that tailbone tucked under, we're then going to try and shift our weight forward as far as it feels comfortable, but really focusing on that's where we're feeling the stretch. Often when people do this stretch, we're not squeezing so much and we can get a lot further forwards, but that's not our focus today. So stay up nice and tall, squeeze that left bum cheek, shift your weight forward. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to come back off. So let that bum go. Then tuck back under, squeeze that bum cheek, shifting forward and holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Backing off a little bit, relaxing back out of it, and we're going to do it one last time. Squeeze that bum under, send that tailbone down towards the ground, shift forward as far as it feels comfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back out of it. I'm going to swap over to the other side. Try and do it as gracefully as you can. Hold onto the wall if you need to. Other leg in front, and then we're going to stretch through the front of our right leg. So from here, same principles. If your bum's already poking out a little bit, tuck it under, squeeze that right bum cheek. So again, you might feel stretching your thighs as soon as you do that bum squeeze. And then we're going to shift our whole body weight forward with it. Holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing that bum cheek and backing off of that leg a little bit. Then we go again. So squeeze the bum cheek, tuck the tailbone under, send it down towards the ground. It's almost like if you've got a bit of a weight tied to that tailbone, and it's very gently drawing it down towards that ground. Holding it, 2, 1, coming back out of that stretch. Last one for that hip flexor stretch. So again, squeeze under, sink down with that tailbone, shifting your weight forward, holding, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back out, and we're going to go onto our backs from here. So we've got 2 more exercises that we're going to go through. So we're going to go through some glute bridges here. So when we're talking about bridges, what we want to do is have feet shoulder width apart, knees shoulder width apart. And we're going to do it more for the mobility side of things than strength. So we're really focusing on moving our spine nice and smoothly when we're going up and down, but having that control over it rather than up as high as we can go, down as low as we can go, and get that speed into it. So feet are hip width apart. We're going to push gently through our heels. Thinking about scooping under that tailbone, so like what we were doing before in that stretch. So scooping underneath that tailbone, belly button comes in towards our spine. We're lifting up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to lower back down. Ribs come down first, then piece by piece our spine comes back down onto that mat, and then we go again. When we're doing this, it's really important to scoop under, lifting up. Don't lift up too high, so the temptation is often arch through our back, lift as high as we can, get off that mat, but often that leads to lower back pain when we're in that position. So really think about always keeping that rib cage drawn down in towards your stomach. So if there's a small spring between the bottom of your ribs and top of your hips, keep a little bit of tension on that spring. So ribs down in towards your stomach, and then we lower back down to that mat. So we're going to just go through a couple of these bridges. So scooping under that tailbone, belly button in towards your spine, piece by piece, get that spine up off the mat, and then it comes rib cage down first, and then we're slowly coming down onto that mat. And you might notice that when you lift up, or maybe it's when you're coming down, could be both, that you might feel a little bit jagged or rigid as you're coming down. They might like a little bit of smoothness in it, and that is completely normal. But consistency is key. The more often we do these types of movements, the better at it we get. I guess it's really important to also reiterate that if this is causing you any sort of back pain, back discomfort, don't push through the exercise, skip forward to the next one. Don't worry about it for now. But if you're doing it, if you're getting that little bit of mobility in your back and if it's feeling great, fantastic, let's keep going. So really scooping under, keep it smooth, lifting up, doesn't have to be too high, get that pressure through your heels, gentle squeezing your bum, you also feel it in the back of your thighs as well. And then rib cage comes down first, and slowly coming back down to that mat. If you imagine a plane coming in for landing, and hopefully it's a good pilot that you have, it should be a really nice, smooth process coming back down onto that mat, rather than that as we come in for entry. Alright, let's do 2 more of these. Scooping under, lifting up, brief pause at the top, thinking about that rib cage drawn in, going back down, last one. Scoop under, up we come, and then coming back down. From here we're going to go into our windscreen wipers. So we're going to drop both of our legs down towards the left. Control that. I want to let them fall with gravity. Then nice, smooth and controlled. Let those knees drop down towards your left. Shoulders are both still on the mat here. So we're getting a twist in our spine and a little bit of a gentle stretch in our hips as we're going. Then using your tummy muscles, pull the weight of your legs back up to that starting position, and then we're going to control them, dropping down to your right side. Again, shoulders stay on the ground, so don't let that temptation of your left shoulder to follow them over to the right. Keep that shoulder planted onto the ground. Enjoy that stretch through your lower back again, making sure that it feels comfortable for you. If that does not feel comfortable, don't do the exercise, or if you can, go halfway. Come back up, go halfway. So you're just going to swap from side to side, holding each one for roughly 3 to 5 seconds. Again, doing what feels good for you on this particular day. So day to day, some days we might want it to go quite quickly and use it as a bit of a warm-up routine. Other days it might feel really nice just to hold that stretch on either side. There's no specific tempo that we have to go for this movement. It's based on how you're feeling on that particular day and how much movement you can get from that particular day. There's no judgment here. Sweeping from side to side. I think I'm going at a pace that's a very slow drizzle on my windscreen for these windscreen wipers. And do one more each way. And up and over. And we'll bring both of these up to the middle. And we're all done. Thank you.